Welcome to our Markets of Choice session. My name is Paul. Very excited to be here tonight with Steve. Steve will be doing the Markets of Choice and some polling questions. The session is scheduled to be about a half hour or so. And let me just give you the format. I'm going to do a quick intro here. Steve's going to do some markets. I'm going to come back on, talk to you about a very special offer to become a member of my candle charts, which is very popular for students around the globe. And then I'll kick it back to Steve so he can do some more markets. And then when Steve is done, I will stick around and answer any questions that you might have about the special offer that we have to get going. Now, just a couple of words of encouragement for you. We are looking for engagement. We want you to participate. So to get everybody going, I'm going to launch our first polling question. There's obviously no right or wrong answer here. What we're looking for is 100% participation rate. That means all it takes for you to do is click on a button. That's all it takes. So we're looking for every person in the room to click it. I can see who you are that has voted. I can't see what your answer is. I can just see whether or not you voted. So, and again, I wouldn't call this a vote. This is just very simple. Click, and I know I'm going to get the question. What happened to people in Antarctica, right? Well, we don't know if anyone's student right there yet. Oh, come on, folks. There's still a percentage of you that haven't answered the polling question. The more engagement we get on these polling questions, the more markets Steve will analyze. So I hope that helps encourage those of you, and I see exactly who you are that hasn't voted yet. I'm not trying to be a pain. We're just looking for 100%. Don't even need to hit a submit button. All you need to do is just click on which continent. We're just trying to get you going. We're inching towards that 100%. There's a few more people. I'll give you 20 more seconds. Let's get that to 100%. I'm not going to call you out if you didn't click. Don't worry. Almost there. Just like 3 more people haven't answered. 2 more people. If you're one of those 2, don't be the one to hold back the whole group. Come on. Okay. All right. We got 2 people that just don't want to answer. So what I'm going to do now, let's just see if we can do a little bit better. I'm going to ask one more polling question. Okay, here it is. Just want to see if we can get back to 100% here. So all it is picking the market that you trade most. I know some people trade more than one. And all I'm trying to do is get an idea of what markets are being traded by the people in the room. So we're moving up quickly this time. It looks like people are getting a little hang of it, which is great. And again, we have a few more people that haven't answered. Just trying to get an overall view of the people in the room so that we could kind of cater these sessions a little bit better. If you're one of those 3 people that hasn't voted yet, please do so. 2 people. All right. I don't want to hold us up anymore. Without further ado, what I'm going to do now is introduce Steve. Steve is the CEO and founder of Candle Charts. He's going to be doing a few markets and asking you a couple of questions as well. If you have questions, please type those in. Looking to have a little fun with this and look forward to providing you with information that you could take back. After Steve does a few markets, he'll hand it to me. I'm going to show you, if you're not already a member of my Candle Charts, how you can become a member. And then I'll kick it back to Steve so he can do more markets. So Steve, I'm muting right now. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul. And so we'll start with the S&P, obviously a big down day today. And let me show you one of my, well, before we do that, let me, as long as, we're in the mode of asking questions, anybody recognize, let me see if I can make a rectangle here. Otherwise, I'll just make an arrow. Here we go. Oops, there we go. All right. Those 2 candles that I'm highlighting in yellow. Okay. What candlestick signal is that? And you could put that in the question windows in the question. Is it a bull hot on me? Is it a piercing pattern? Is it a hammer? Is it a bullish engulfing pattern? Great. Okay. And we'll just, I'm not going to take up too much time waiting for a lot of answers because we have such a, it looks like whoever answered got it all right. So congratulations on that. But let me ask you another question, a little trickier. Okay. We see this bullish engulfing pattern. Okay. Not all candlestick signals are going to be reversals, right? And then I'll get to today's action. But what increased the likelihood of this bullish engulfing pattern for forecasting a rally? And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. Right, at a key level, a support level, exactly. So for those who have our education, one of the important criterion that we talk about is one, obviously we teach you how to correctly recognize the candlestick signal, which you all did for those who answered the bullish engulfing pattern, but importantly, how to increase the success with that signal. Not every candlestick signal should be used to buy or sell. So here we had a bullish engulfing pattern, and what was particularly promising about this is that look at the size of the green real body compared to the red real body. So the bulls really took over, confirmed a support area, so not too surprising to see a rally. On our daily recaps, I'll show you what we called for resistance. Paul will be talking about how to access our recaps every day. We talk about the S&P, we talk about the major markets, Forex, we do Bitcoin and so forth. So on a call yesterday, when we have myself and 2 NISA certified trainers, and we all take turns doing the daily recap. So what I mentioned yesterday is that the trend, short-term trend is up. Obviously, you know what this is, right? A gap, rising windows. Okay, but the market was at resistance. One of my favorite strategies, and it's not a candlestick signal, it's classic Western technicals, and that's one of the great things you could do with candles, use all Western signals, is I call it change of polarity. For those of you who are members of my ICC, mycaltrust.com, I refer to it a lot. Essentially, it's a multi-tested support area. Once broken, in theory, becomes resistance. Okay, so that's exactly where the market got to. I mentioned yesterday that there were no bearish signals, but the market was at resistance. Obviously, you can't forecast the news, and the market really sold off. But this was our first resistance. Where do you think I had second resistance? If the market got above this, where would for those of you who are familiar with our education, would it be the high over here? Would it be something a little earlier, maybe? Anybody know one of my favorite candlestick signals? Anybody recognize where I put the arrow? Exactly, a falling window. So this whole falling window is resistance, and then above that it would be here. Okay, so thank you for participating in that. Now we're going to look at the current action. Okay. So obviously, what's our first resistance? It's big falling window, correct? So what I'd be looking for, are there any reversal signals? If the market is near a support area, right? The bullish engulfing pattern, the little swing low here, any bottom reversal signals yet? Anything to say, okay, the bears are losing steam? No, I don't see anything, exactly. But one thing to look out for, this is first support. If the market starts stabilizing over here, okay, that could be a potential support area. But right now, the bears are in control. Long red real body, falling window. A second support potential area, rising window. And notice what's nice about this rising window, okay, you had a rising window, which is support. Was that window support confirmed? And if so, when? Remember, rising window is a potential support area. Right, Damien, Peter, exactly. On the very next candle, the market held support. By the way, this is not enough of an uptrend for me to be a bearish engulfing pattern. But even if you did view it as a bearish engulfing pattern, would you be selling it here? Here, actually, let me do a polling question. Okay, let's launch it here. Okay, so what would you do here? I mean, obviously you know the answer, but if you didn't know what was happening after, what would you do? Say this was a bearish engulfing pattern. What would you do here? Okay, we got about 80%. So let's do this right over here. What would you do there? Imagine we don't know what happened after. Oh, for some reason we can't see the chart. Okay, I guess we do a polling question. Let me pull up the. Okay, so let me. It looks like 50% said nothing, 32% short, and 19% long. So let me. Oops. Okay, let me just close the poll here. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize when a polling question is up, you can't see the chart. And that's what we're talking about. So what I wanted to do here is show you this. And as I said, imagine that this was a bearish engulfing pattern. And the reason the 50% of you were right would do nothing is this is a bearish, assuming it is, confirming resistance, which is the negative. But if you shorted here, where's your first support area? Right over here, right? So the answer is I wouldn't do anything here. The market's stalling at resistance. Let me go back here again. The market's stalling at resistance, but it's right at support. Okay. So, and John's asking, is this the same as a traditional gap? Yeah, window is the same as a traditional gap, but in Western technicals, gaps are not used as support or resistance, but they are in Japanese candlesticks. So another advantageous reason to use candlestick signals. So let's get back to here. All right, so we looked at S&P, the short-term trend is down. We could see we're near potential support, okay, but no bottom reversal signals yet. If we break there, my next support would be potentially this rising window, which was confirmed. Okay, let's look at, and again, the goal here is even if you don't trade the S&P or any of the markets that I'm looking at, all the strategies that you're starting to learn here, remember, we're just touching on the basics. There's a lot more information you can get when you attend the daily sessions, and we could ask you specific requests for the specific markets. So here it's going to be basic education, whether you trade the S&P or not. Okay, the same strategy, a bullish engulfing pattern, whether it's the S&P or Bitcoin or a Forex market, it's the same concept. It's potentially support. A window is a window no matter what market. Okay, so let's look at, let's see. Let's look, actually, we will look at an inverse, since we did get a question about that. Now, in a lot of the strategies that you have learned for those of you who are members or will learn, we talk about bearish signals, and most of us are not going to go short in an equity market. It's very easy to short, obviously, in Forex, or if you use options, you could do puts. But if you're bearish, or if we show you some bearish signals, you could either use it to liquidate longs, or you could always use in the major markets an inverse. So here we have the inverse, the QID of the These are the Qs. And you could see, that surprised me. Actually, let me do the SDS because see if we have the same. So that's really, it's interesting. So remember with the S&P that I showed before, how there was a bullish engulfing pattern about a week or so ago that held as a support level. Here, because of it's an inverse S&Ps, okay, here, what confirmed the resistance? Remember, this is an inverse. So when the market goes down, the S&P goes down, this goes up. What was this? Red wrapping around the black. Green. Is it a hanging man? Is it a dark cloud cover? Is it a bearish hottomy? Is it an engulfing pattern? Correct. A bearish engulfing pattern. Godfrey says a spinning top is a single candle line. So this is not a spinning top. It's a bearish engulfing pattern. And kind of the flip side of what we talked about with the S&P, the cash S&P, how it confirmed support, this confirmed resistance. Right. Okay, question, little trick question. What is this green wrapping around the red? And this is for those who have a little bit more knowledge. Green wrapping around the red. What is that? Let me do her. In this context, trying to make the box a little smaller. Well, anyway, forget about this green candle over here. I can't get rid of it's the green wrapping around the red. Drum roll, please. Good call, Nat. Theophany, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And I see there's very few answers because there's a little confusion or... All right, so the answer is, this is not a bullish engulfing pattern. For those who understand what a bullish engulfing pattern is, it is green wrapping around the red, but it has to come after a downtrend. Okay, did this come after a downtrend? No. So again, the value of education. Let those who, hey, you go to the internet and see that a bullish engulfing pattern is a green wrapping around the red, and have them buy it here. Not realizing this is really not a bullish engulfing pattern. The trend is wrong. And beside that, it's right at a resistance area. But anyway, let's go through this quickly. It'll be quick because it's the opposite of the S&P. Short-term trend is up in this inverse S&P, the SDS, looking for resistance at the high of the bearish engulfing pattern, and the rising window is our next support area. Okay. Okay, let's look at Tesla. And sometimes I'll look at a weekly chart, see if there's anything that pops up. Okay, so let's go back to the daily. Okay, so on Tesla, okay, this to me is a correct signal. Is this a bullish engulfing pattern? Is it a doji? Is it a hammer? Is it a shooting star? And the reason I'm not posting questions is because it hides the chart. Yeah, good call on that. And remember, the hammer has a long lower shadow, twice the height of the real body, and you can have a little bit of an upper shadow. So I would call that, as you would say, Godfrey, a classic hammer. And here again, as happened with the S&P, it's confirming a support area. Remember, if you have a candlestick signal confirming a Western signal, you've increased the likelihood of the market turning, okay? So the market rallied, okay, actually broke above resistance area over here. So in this case, my next resistance would have been here, but obviously with the news that came out today, Right now, we have a battle between the windows. The falling window as resistance, and notice what held as, at least as of now, the rising window as support. So I'd have the short-term trend up a little bit more neutral, but mainly up. You know, we didn't have a break in Tesla like we did with the S&P, so that's why in the S&P have the short-term trend down. But considering the extent of the rally from the hammer, which successfully defended this low here, and we know there's not a bearish engulfing pattern, right? Red wrapping around the green. Why? The trend is wrong. Okay, here again, let those who only know that it's a red wrapping around the green know the shape of the candle signal, but not knowing about candles in context. In other words, trend. Let them sell it here, only to have this happen. Anyway, yeah, the goal is you take their money. You get the education, you take the dumb people's money. Anyway, so the hammer defended support here, and so the rising window, and then my next support would potentially be down here. Look at a couple more, then I'll turn it over to Paul, and then I'm going to come back with Bitcoin and Apple. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. And then I'll look at Bitcoin a little bit later. Okay, on Ethereum, we can see where the major short-term trend I have is neutral. Here we can see where the major support is on the daily chart. Hammer. And I'm going through these quickly because many of you correctly pointed it out. A hammer. There's actually also a bullish engulfing pattern. It's a green wrapping around the red. It's small, but it's green wrapping around the red. Bullish engulfing pattern. Held support with a hammer. Held support with a bullish engulfing pattern. A hammer, although I wouldn't place much emphasis on that hammer, except confirming support, because a hammer you really want to see after a downtrend, correct? This was really a lateral trading environment, but even though I wouldn't define this, or our software, our Candlestick software would probably not pick this up as a hammer because it takes into account trend, it did confirm support with a long lower shadow. Okay, another little hammer. All right, so we can see where the major support is, right around 31 in Ethereum. As to resistance, just looking at the highs over here, last 3 out of the 4 sessions over here, could actually make it a zone. But pretty much Ethereum is in what the Japanese call a box range in a lateral trading environment. So we're looking at being in the middle of a lateral trading environment. So that's why I have the short-term trend as neutral. This one's interesting. Okay, let's see how many of you are a little bit more advanced. And don't worry if you don't know what this is. Okay, what candle line is that? Let's give it another sec. It is, yeah, I would say it's a doji. The real body is small enough, but I'll give you a little hint. It has a long upper and lower shadow. Once again, that's a little bit more advanced. Okay, this is called a high wave candle. That's a candle line with a long-legged doji, long upper and long lower shadow. And it's not really a bearish signal, but who's in charge? Actually, well, again, I was going to do a polling question, but they'll hide the chart. Who's in charge here? That arrow that I just drew. Bulls, right? Okay, that's pretty obvious. Who's in charge here? And you can just cut and paste what you did before, right? Bulls. Okay. Now, who's in charge here? Exactly. No one, indecisive, neutral. The doji reflects that, as does the long upper and lower shadow. The upper shadow means the market rallied, then sold off. It sold off and then rallied. It's a confused market. Now, is that bearish? Not really. But is that giving you a difference between who's in charge between here and here. Is there a difference now on this one candle session? Of course. So the trend, although mainly up, has become a little bit more negative, or I would say a little bit more neutral, and the odds of a turn have increased. The odds of a turn after a long green candle are not zero, but it's less. So right now, as Chris is saying, the market is in a state of pausing. Doesn't mean it's going to go down, but this might be a good time if you got long here to consider taking some profits. And notice how it became a resistance area. So, and as Godfrey said, yeah, if you want to wait for some bearish confirmation before getting negative, before taking profits, maybe wait for the next session's close over here. Oops. Okay, over here, and think about lightening up on long positions or move protective stops or so forth. So, okay, I'm going to turn it over to Paul for a little bit. Then I'm going to get to some more markets. We'll look at Bitcoin, and I'll look at Apple, and maybe a couple of other markets. And great stuff that, great feedback, and I really appreciate you making this really, really interactive. I think everybody gets a lot more out of it.
Thanks, Steve. And remember, Steve will be back on in just a couple of minutes to talk about, a couple of major markets. I know I'm looking forward to hearing him talk about Apple. I've traded Apple a lot. Now, I know that there's a bunch of people in the room already that are already members of my Candle Chart. So if you already are a member of my Candle Charts, really nothing for you to hear. I just want to go over a couple of things for people that are not already a member of my Candle Charts. We have people here requesting markets for Steve to analyze, which is fantastic. He does that every Monday in what we call a strategy session. We also do it every Thursday with one of our NISC certified trainers. And we have a variety of sessions inside of my Candle Charts that we do live. We record every session that we do because we have students in 85 different countries that we know about. So no matter what time of the day we do the live session, most people are going to watch it via the recording anyway. So if you go to this page, and I'm going to put the link in here in just a second, but it's candlecharts.com/lifetime is the link that will bring you here. And what I just wanted to show you, if you get to the page, and I'll go over the special offer here in a second, if you scroll down a little bit, it's going to show you what all of the different feature sections are. And I don't want to take too much time. I know you're here to listen to Steve talk about markets. But for those of you who are already members, you already know this. Every Monday and Thursday, we do a strategy session where you can request a market to be analyzed. Now, the important part of that is if you're trading or you're considering making a trade and you could have Steve Nissen analyze that market for you, why would you not want to do that? Help you get in, help you get out, help you maybe not get in or not get out. Every day, Monday through Friday, we do a daily recap. Every Wednesday, we do an options outlook. Morning trade setups. Forex Focus happens every Tuesday. Very popular is our casual trader session. For people that have full-time jobs or they just don't have as much time during the week, we post that every Sunday night, a video getting you ready for what's coming up that week. We do a chart challenge, kind of similar to what Steve was doing a little bit earlier with what kind of pattern is this, what would you do here? We have a charting widget for you to kind of test it out. We do a weekly recap. Now, I'm going to scroll back up here in just a couple of seconds, but if you become a member on either our annual or a lifetime membership, you get access to 22 different special topic sessions, and this is a listing of all of those. These are all about an hour long. It's specific to that special topic. So if you want to do intraday options, we have an hour-long session on that. If you need help on exit strategies, how to get out of a position, which most people need help with that, session on that. One of my favorite, multiple time frames, how to use different time frame charts. Something I've been doing for a long time now, legging in and legging out of trades. Just helping you add to or take parts of position off. Remember, Steve will be back in just a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. He'll be talking multiple more markets. For people that want to trade options, we have a 3-part series on Options Bootcamp to get you ready to trade options. Okay, so you can certainly go down. There's a video here, just under 7 minutes, that goes through a lot more detail. But what I want to talk about is we offer memberships for my Candle Charts in monthly plan, in an annual plan, and a lifetime plan. Monthly plan means you can log in as often as you'd like. This is a monthly recurring plan, okay? You can also sign up for an annual plan, which is a recurring every year plan, and we have a lifetime plan, which is you pay one time, you have access for life. Now, the normal lifetime price is $19.95. Our discounted price for our students is $12.49, but with our promo, and I'm highlighting this up here in green, special lifetime offer just for the next few hours. We're doing this for you as students that are here live. If you use code VIP, it'll take $250 off that lifetime price to bring it down to $9.99. So all you would do is click on click to purchase in the lifetime plan, use code VIP, and you will get $250 off to bring the price down to $9.99. You pay that one time, you own it for life. The other thing we're doing, if you sign up tonight with that code VIP to $9.99, you'll also be invited to a very special invite-only VIP bonus session where we will be talking trading strategies and taking your next steps with trading. So you can certainly become a member of the monthly plan. You would not get all of those special topic sessions. By the way, we sell these at $79 each. So if you did the math, call it $80 times 22, you're talking $1,600 plus just for the special topics. You only get those if you go with the annual or the lifetime plan. And as you can see, the lifetime plan by itself is normally a great value, but with the extra coupon code to bring it down to $9.99, the special topics alone pay for that, on top of the recaps, the strategy sessions, the morning trade setups, the ability to ask questions to Steve and the rest of our mentors. So I'm going to put the code in here. What I'm going to do at this point, though, is hand it back to Steve so he can do more markets. I will be in the session at the end if you have questions about becoming a member, but you have to hurry up, folks. 3 hours and 25 minutes and change to take full advantage of that VIP code to get you the savings on the lifetime plan, as well as the special invite to the bonus session on October 8th, which will give you just a couple of weeks to get into all of these sessions, whether live or recordings, and be ready for that VIP bonus session. So Steve, I'm going to hand it back to you, and I'm going to put the link right here in the chat window.
Great. Okay, thanks, Paul. And yeah, as a special thank you, that's why we decided to give that special discount. I know many of you had to take time out of your busy day to attend this, and hopefully, number one, you're getting value out of this session, and two, we just wanted to give you a little extra value by doing this very short-term bonus of a special discount. Anyway, let's look at Apple. And so right now, what's interesting, short-term trend I have is down. Okay, we do see a support level, one of those high wave candles right over here. Now, just because it's a high wave candle doesn't mean it's support or resistance. It just happened to be a swing low. Okay? But similarly to the S&P, although the market is potentially at support, I would actually make it a zone. Okay? From around 152 to 150 and a half. There's no bottom reversal signals yet. So one of the things I suggest before even thinking of doing any trade, whether it's long or short, is see what the momentum is. Right now, the momentum is very strong on the downside. No diminution of the bearish momentum. So with something like this, I would personally wait to see if the market kind of stabilizes, because I can give you potential support or resistance. It doesn't mean it's going to hold it. Okay, so we like extra confirmation and really use the candles for what they're designed for, showing the momentum's easing. The trend is running out of steam. I'll get back to the daily chart. Let me show you what I mean by momentum here. Okay, look at the weekly. Okay, this is, and we do this when I do the recaps. I'll go daily, weekly sometimes to see if there's something on the weekly we don't see on the daily. Notice something interesting. What did we have last week on the weekly? A hammer. So the bears were in control, and here we see a hammer. And what that means is, now obviously this is a weekly. This is only 1 day, 2 days worth of, what's today, Monday? 1 day's worth of, or is it Tuesday? 2 days worth of data, okay? So this is not a weekly yet. We don't know what it's going to wind up as. But because it's a hammer, okay, it is a potential support area. Okay, let me show you something interesting. Okay, that, anybody recognize what that candle signal is? Long upper shadow, small wheel body at the bottom end of the trading range. Opposite of a hammer. It's like a comet blazing across the sky. Yeah, actually it would be a gravestone doji. Good call on that, Peter. Yeah, gravestone doji is a doji with the open, high, low, and close at the low of the session. So this is a bearish shooting star. All right. Okay, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. Why do we wait for some confirmation? What do we have it for? It's so small. Anyway, let me see if I could draw an arrow. Okay, between the low here, which is 176.34, and the high here, which is 176.12. Is that a window? Is that a gap? Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a penny gap. A gap is a gap is a gap. So we do get bearish signal. It is confirming resistance. Again, this is weekly, but you could use this concept on the daily. Okay, this we know. I know we're running a little bit late, but this is a dark cloud cover. Many of you know. So we have a shooting star confirming a dark cloud cover, but markets at support. Then when we get this bearish engulfing pattern confirming resistance, I would be all over this from the negative side, whether that's buying puts. Again, we don't look into implied volatility or anything like that. We just give trend direction, but buying puts or maybe locking in long, locking in some profits or moving up stops. But a plethora of signals: dark cloud cover, shooting star, bearish engulfing pattern. The window support is closing. Another bearish engulfing pattern. This is a classic gravestone doji. Long upper shadow, open, lie, low, and close at the low of the session. The Japanese, for those of you who haven't seen my a little bit more advanced videos, they call this a gravestone doji because the Japanese say it represents the gravestone of the bulls who died defending the territory. Look out below. So it's a negative, it's a doji with a long upper shadow, so it's negative. Anyway, there's a weekly chart. So we're at potential support. And we're back to the daily. And look where resistance is. Falling window. Right? Now, here the market's at resistance, but are there any bearish signals yet? No. Long green candle, rising window, short-term trend is up, but the market was at a resistance area. Two reasons for resistance. Okay, that one. And what about this here? And early on, one of the Western strategies I talked about. Change of polarity. Okay, old support becomes resistance. So would I short here? No, because although the market's at resistance, there's no bearish signals, but maybe I think about protecting my profits a little bit. So anyway, short-term trend down, but at a potential support area. Rising window, still my resistance. Okay, that was Apple. And as promised, we will look at Bitcoin. And congratulations, we're getting a lot of responses taking advantage of the, what is it, a 3-hour window. So congratulations on taking advantage of that. Okay, let me look at, what did I say we were doing? Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin, short-term trend is down. Okay. And a lot of these markets, the change of polarity, support, broken, become resistance. And we could see yesterday, let's take off today, when I did the recap, I said the market's at resistance, no bearish signals yet, but based on the change of polarity, the market is at a resistance area. Doesn't mean it's going to turn. If it got above this level here, then my next resistance, and look at all these signals we have here. Okay, what is this one? That's a pretty basic one. Let me scroll down to, and we'll just, just wrap it up after this, and Paul will get back on. A doji, what's over here? Again, you just cut and paste. A doji. What do we have over here? A shooting star. What do we have over here? Another shooting star. So what I mentioned in our MyCC recap yesterday, if we get above this market, then the next key resistance would be up around 2,400 to 25,000. But this was first resistance, and the market had stalled from there. And key potential support doesn't mean it's going to hold, but the reason I call it key support is because it was defended over such a long period of time. Okay, with lastly a piercing pattern. The green candle getting more than halfway into the red real body. So this is actually my key support. Doesn't mean you should be buying it there, but this to me is long-term support. And we can look at it weekly, and I bet you would show up even better on the weekly chart. Get rid of these lines here. Let me expand it a little bit, and you can see on the weekly chart, essentially, Bitcoin is in a box range, what the Japanese call lateral trading environment, between 25 and 1750, and we're now pretty much smack in the middle of this box range. The bottom end of the box was called with a bullish engulfing pattern. The top end, is a weekly chart, was called with a bearish engulfing pattern. Once again, showing you the success you can have with candles, especially if they confirm support or resistance. So here we had a hammer confirming the support of the bullish engulfing pattern. Here we had a bearish engulfing pattern confirming prior highs, increasing the likelihood of a sell-off. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul. Once again, I hope you got a sense of what you'll be getting in MyCC. It's exactly what we do. Pretty much each day we go over with a recap. We go over anywhere from 10 to 12 markets, and then markets of your choice a couple of times a week, and lots of other really cool features. So back over to you, Paul. Thanks again for making this so much fun and for participating.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's interesting to me. I know that we already have some members of My Candle Charts already here in the session tonight, and every time, Steve, you would ask a question, a lot of right answers were being written in by current members of My Candle Charts, which is really cool to see. Not only do they know the answer, but they are typing it in and taking advantage. So I just wanted to go over a couple other things. Somebody had asked, who does a session. So obviously you know who Steve is, and on the screen, see Steve. Sil does a lot of our sessions. He's been around for a Nissing Certified Trainer. A lot of you know Brian. Brian also a Nissing Certified Trainer. And then Tim is the newest member of our team as a certified trainer as well. So this team of 4 mentors is who does all of those sessions. And all of those sessions include all of these. So every day, morning trade setup, a trade that we're doing or potentially doing that day. Forex Focus, like I said, is done every Tuesday. Wednesday, options outlook for people that want to get option strategies and get going. It's kind of like the ongoing guidance that you really need and want. Sometimes people don't know that they need it, they want it, but the need of being able to take advantage of everything that My Candle Charts has to offer will save you money on bad trades and will make you money. I'll tell you, I listen to every session that's done, whether I can be there live or recording myself. And wow, what a difference when I can have Steve Nissen on Mondays do a recap and do a strategy session. A lot of you are typing in, hey, Steve, can you cover this market or that market? He does that every Monday. And then every Thursday, one of the other mentors will do a strategy session and recaps and Forex and everything like that. one of the biggest things really that I want to stress to you, the special topics. If you want to think about trading crypto, we have a special topic just on the nuances of what you need to do to trade crypto. How to trade volatile markets, obviously very imperative that you understand that now. East and West, how Steve talks about combining candles with other indicators, right? And so many more. And this is one of the best ones that most people don't even think about, support and resistance. So again, I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. You can certainly sign up for the monthly plan. Again, you would be billed once a month. You can cancel that anytime. You just wouldn't be billed again. 12-month plan the same way, but instead of being billed every month, you'd be billed every year. You can cancel and you just wouldn't be billed again. Lifetime plan, normally $12.49, but again, with the special coupon code VIP, you just type that in. You get that special price. We take $250 off to bring it down to $9.99. You pay that one time. You own My Candle Charts for life. And then the special VIP bonus session, if you do this tonight, in the next few hours, you'll also be invited to that VIP bonus session where we talk about strategies and taking next steps in trading. A lot of special offers, a lot of capability. And I'll tell you this one thing, and I heard this a long time ago. The traders who know how to make decisive moves in the market are the ones that do best in the long term. This is one of those opportunities of getting in at a low price with extra special VIP bonus session, obviously in addition to all of these other sessions that we do on a regular basis. It will make you a better trader, a better investor, and somebody capable of helping their family or anyone else that they would want to with knowledge, education, and capability of looking at charts. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. I know I see a lot of the people that are in the room right now. We'll be back in the My Candle Chart room tomorrow on Wednesday when we do the recap and the options and all the other sessions. I want to congratulate, there's a couple of people that just signed up. The way it works is you click to purchase, you go in, put in your information, and then literally within minutes, you'll be able to access all of the resources, including the recap that was done today with all the action that happened here today. And just one last thing, I'm a trader. I've been trading for a long time. And I will sit in a strategy session every Monday and Thursday and listen. And I have gotten ideas from what other people have requested. So sometimes there are just markets out there that just kind of capture your eye and make a big change. So again, special offer. You're not paying that $12.49 for lifetime. You're only paying the $9.99. Okay. Last minute, I'm going to take off in about a minute from now. If there's any last minute questions, and I've had a couple of people ask, specifically about their accounts or how to upgrade or anything like that, send me an email, paul@candlecharts.com. I would be more than happy to take a look into your account or do whatever we can and go from there. Peter's question, do we use Heiken Ashi? Nope, don't use it. As you saw, exactly what Steve did here tonight, Peter, is what we teach and how we trade ourselves. So with candles, we don't look at Heiken Ashi. You got it, Peter. Any other questions that I can answer for you before we call it a night or call it a morning for some of you around the globe? All right. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you as a brand new member of My Candle Charts. And if you're already a member, like a lot of you in this room already are, look forward to continuing to work with you and look forward to seeing you at that VIP bonus session. Good night.